Report story. I'm sorry, sir. Maybe I didn't understand what you said. Izuku said. Aizawa sighed. Why was he dealing with Midoriya on a Sunday? Why did Midoriya choose today to turn up unannounced? Why the student with the longest running sentences he had ever taught? He had only come in to do some grading on recent assignments the students had turned in. He had to get this done today, preferably in the morning. News had been found out about an apartment burning down and hints lead to his student's assailant. Unfortunately, that same student was stopping him from investigating. Midoriya, I'm gonna explain this one more time, Aizawa said, putting his fingers to the bridge of his nose. And you'd better leave after this, I've got things to do. We don't know if the bullet you were hit with was a permanent or a temporary drug destroyer. Until then you can't be in most of classes since they have been going through quirk training. Mirio is getting a bit backed up since his book smarts is less than above average, especially for a third year, so watching Eri is getting challenging for him. You are a first year and number 4 in the class. I believe you can handle your own studying with the workload currently given out. You'll be on your own time, and have the responsibility of watching Eri. Indefinitely, indefinitely, Izuku said loudly. But sir, I can't miss that much training. And tell me, what kind of quirk training can you do without a quirk? Aizawa said, squinting his eyes. Izuku gulped. Exactly. Besides, Eri wanted to spend time with you. Do you not want her around? Aizawa asked in a monotone voice, turning to look at Izuku from his papers. Never that. If anything, it makes me happy. I just don't want to get behind. Izuku said, looking down. Aizawa sighed. And if you focus on your studies, then you'll be alright. Eri's quirk mastery is improving. Slowly, but improving nonetheless. Aizawa got up and walked over to Izuku, crouching and putting a hand on his shoulder. You're not going to get behind. And if you do, I'll just work you to death until you catch back up. Think of this as training Midoriya. Being a hero is more than just quirk training. This expands your already strategic mind. I'm sure you can find a way to keep training, even if it's not with your quirk. Now leave, I've got things to do. Izuku, now motivated, gave Aizawa a confident smile. Yes, sir. Izuku turned to leave, but at the door turned back towards Aizawa. What kind of training would you? I said leave, Aizawa said, his hair rising and his eyes glowing. Izuku gulped and sped out the doorway down the hall. Izuku slowed as soon as he exited the building, putting a hand to his chin as he walked. Aizawa was right. This gives Izuku a chance to broaden his horizon. Izuku looked up at the sky and watched the clouds go by as he walked. The drug affected Izuku's quirk receptors. The quirk receptors were artificially made by the power of One for All, meaning the drug affected him differently. It was created for natural degeneration of a person's receptors, but didn't account for quirk-made artificial ones. Izuku knew One for All was still there. It was still able to activate on its own, though his connection to it felt weaker than before, probably due to the drug's physical damage to the receptors. However, if One for All could be accessed through connection alone, Izuku stopped walking and thought. He shook his head. He doubted that he could proficiently use One for All with damaged quirk receptors. But, strengthening his connection to One for All may help a little with the limited use he did have from it, and if not that, it would most certainly help if he got his quirk fixed. When he got his quirk fixed. Promoted stories. You'll also like The Paths He Chooses Book 1. A Fate of Few. S. A normal day for Izuku as he completes his normal routine and goes to school. Along the way he runs into Yui Kodai, a quiet and mysterious girl of Class 1B, they Cruelty. X 1.2M 40.2K. A very hostile girl whom despised everyone and everyone despised her. Izuku Midoriya, a very sweet boy who was popular with his classmates, oddly developed. I Hate and Love You. 258K 4.6 Con. IzuOcha fanfiction where Deku and Uraraka had a fight in kindergarten which led to something worse. But maybe they can be friends or perhaps more. Non-quirk rated. Symbol of Hope Izuku X Hair. Named weapon of a true hero. This is the old version. The new rewrite can be found in Archive of Our Own, under a new name. Red Halo heroes today are corrupted by the Black Lady of the Night. Vigilante hero was out one night and saw a person fighting a whole group of villains all by themselves, but the problem is that they're badly injured and no one knows. I Can't Lose You warning. Spoiler warning. Mentions of the events leading up to, including and following the internship arc warning. Katsuki has always been bad at expressing his feelings, but when Villain Deku 11K 260 Izuku was just 14 when he met All Might and asked if he can be a hero, but All Might crushes his dreams and left him on a rooftop. What All Might didn't. Izuku smiled and jogged back to the dorms. Izuku, welcome back, Ochako said, in her casual clothes sitting down on Izuku's dorm floor with Eri in her lap. Izuku had just walked in and Eri had looked up with a smile. Deku, she called, jumping out of Ochako's lap and into Izuku's arms. Hello Eri, what were you two doing while I was away? Izuku asked, walking over and sitting on his bed. Coco was doing my hair. She said I would look cute with a braid. Eri beamed at Izuku. Sure enough, Eri's hair was braided, yet it was only halfway done. Well, it was supposed to be braided but someone jumped up before I could finish. Ochako said, giggling and looking down at Eri. Sorry, Eri said with big eyes. Ah, don't do that, you are too cute. Ochako said, rubbing the top of the little girl's head. Eri's smile had returned. Yay, thank you Coco, Eri said. Izuku looked at her. So what's with the chocolate nickname? Izuku asked, giving them a quizzing look. Ochako and Eri laughed. Well, Izu, you call me Ocha, Ochako said. And I wanted a nickname for her too. And County comes after Ocha. So Coco, Eri said, waving her hands in the air. But that has nothing to do with Chocola. Izuku started saying. However, he caught the glare from Ochako, the stop talking glare. That's great, it fits, Izuku laughed nervously, still looking at Ochako. Ochako closed her eyes and nodded before guiding Eri back into her lap and continued to do Eri's braid. Sue, Ochako started without looking up as Izuku gave Eri his phone as entertainment. What did Aizawa say? Well, I won't be going to classes anymore. I've basically been downgraded, upgraded, changed to homeschool, or dorm school, in this case. Izuku laughed at his bad joke. I'll be watching over Eri indefinitely and I'll be doing school work here at the dorm. Won't be doing any quirk training either. Ochako slowed her braiding and looked at Izuku. Izu, I'm sorry, I know that must not feel very great. Ochako started but noticed Izuku didn't look too bothered. You were sad, right? I mean, I was originally, but Aizawa made some good points. I'll be on my own schedule, I'll get to stay with Eri, and I get to do some special training with One for All. Ochako gave Izuku a confused look. Special training, she asked. Izuku explained his theory about the drug and how he felt it probably affected his quirk differently from others. I say all that, but I don't really know how to go about training my quirk. Easier said than done, Izuku said, returning his hand to his chin. Well, it sounds like you need to meditate. Ochako said without a second thought after listening to Izuku's rant. She had returned to braiding Aris' hair. Izuku looked up at her. Meditation. Yay. Usually people use it to calm down and look within themselves, Ochako said, saying that last part in a funny voice. Meditation is sitting and looking within yourself to find a true and better version of yourself. Ochako took a comb and pointed it at Izuku. One for all, from what you've told me, has its own form of consciousness. Multiple consciousnesses. If you really think about it, it works the same way as meditation, except instead of looking inside yourself spiritually for your inner self, I would be looking for One for All's spirit. Izuku said loudly. Ochako smiled and returned back to combing and braiding Eri's hair. Exactly. But still meditation. Is it really like a thing? Izuku asked, questioning the legitimacy behind it. Ochako shrugged. There are many people that say it doesn't work, but there's also many people who say it does. I've done it for martial arts training, but I don't feel anything spiritually in a sense. It's more I just have a more calm mind. I guess some can consider that spiritual. The only way to figure it out is to try it. You, Ocha, are a genius and I love you. Izuku said, leaning in and kissing her cheek. Ochako blushed. Shut up, dummy. I love you too. Izuku laid back on the bed behind Ochako and put his hands behind his head, looking up at the ceiling. Meditation, huh? So, what are we looking at here? Aizawa asked, walking up to Endeavor. Endeavor looked up at the blackened building. They were standing in front of. Cops and fire trucks surrounded the building with yellow police tape creating a perimeter around the area. Old apartment building. Caught fire, killing 24 and injuring over 50. Endeavor said, folding his arms. What took you so long? A boy of many questions. What started the fire? Aizawa asked as they started walking towards the burned wreck. Not a fire quirk of any means. Judging by how the burn marks landed and how they form in spikes, along with the damage of repeated impact of the walls, this was an explosion. Multiple of them. Endeavor said, walking through the building remains, firemen searching and cleaning up the wreckage. Look down at the ground there. Aizawa looked down to see burn marks and ashes leading up to what was once a staircase. A trail. The explosion started from the bottom and worked its way up. Looks like it reached outside. It was a manual start. I'm assuming the trigger was most likely gasoline. Endeavor finished. Sounds like the guy you're after. Any evidence on where Lighter went after this? Aizawa asked. Endeavor turned towards him. There was a blood trail that led from in here out and into some alleyways, but it got too faint to keep following. He either covered up his blood or the injury wasn't severe enough. Or most of his injuries were burns, not cuts. Aizawa thought out loud. Midoriya and Uraraka's last fight with him ended with a car exploding. Most of the impact would have been burns from an explosion. That wouldn't result in enough blood to spill. Still, This guy is an amateur. He doesn't know what he's doing. We'll catch him easy before he can cause any more harm to my students. Gaslighter limped through the alleyways as he trekked towards the prestigious UA Academy. That's where he was. Midoriya. And all the other little shits. Gaslighter raised his hands, gas forming around him, with UA in sight. This was close enough. He could hit the school from here. He would ruin them. Right before Gaslight launched his attack before a purple portal appeared in front of him. Gaslighter kept aim, watching as the portal turned. Suddenly, a skinny lengthy teen walked out, a black cloak covering him head to toe, with a hood over. His long dirty silver hair falling past his shoulders, his skin dry with his lips cracked. I wouldn't do that if I were you. I tried that once. Didn't end well, and I was in much, much better condition than you. The teen said, grinning an awful grin in his eyes. Gaslighter didn't budge, his hand still raised with gasoline flowing around them. I don't care who you are. Move. I just want Midoriya and those damn students' dreams crushed. Gaslighter said, unamused by the silver-haired teen. The teen sighed. Such a petty reason. The teen said, rage-filled lighter. Petty. He thought this was petty. That boy and his friends took away my dream of a new society. A quirkless one where everyone is safe from these quirks. Lighter yelled that last part. Yes, yes, yes. How could I forget? That was the same dream old Shisaki had before he was beaten to a pulp by none other than little Deku. Quite hilarious actually. The teen laughed. He was laughing. I'll kill you too if you keep talking like that. Lighter said angrily, still holding his hand out. See, that right there. You are such a novice. You haven't used your brain since you started on this childish manhunt. The teen said, still laughing at him. You're upset because quirks are still around. Big whoop. You've blamed quirks this entire time. But think about it this way. The teen started pacing around Lighter, smiling devilishly. It wasn't a quirk who killed your parents. It was you. You who got too excited and fucked up. That wasn't the quirk's fault. That was yours. Lighter's eyes started widening. His breath increased. Sweat started pouring down. But, you know who wasn't there for you? Society. The teen yelled with a slight laugh. People are the problem. No one helped you. No one saved you. A hero didn't save your family from the car accident. Hell, you survived. By luck. The teen had completely circled around Lighter, and was now right in the mon's face, his arm still taking aim at nothing. If you want anything to blame other than yourself, blame the society who put you here. Society saw quirks forming. Society kept the quirks evolving. Society made quirks okay to live with. Society caused this all. I'm tearing society down at its core. And that includes. The teen pointed in the direction of UA, and if you think UA is going down alone, it's not just them. It was also the hero agencies that took down Hisaki and stopped that beloved drug from reaching you. Would you really be satisfied just taking down UA? Why not them all? The teen's voice had changed from cynical laughter to a deep serious tone. Lighter took in what he had said. He was right. Society had made quirks okay in the first place. Society hadn't come to save his parents. The heroes weren't there to protect him. And the heroes took away his only cure. And what would you have me do? Lighter asked, staring the teen deep into his red eyes. Come with me, and you'll have all the resources you need. And if I don't, well, if you don't, you can keep doing what you want. Take aim at that school for all I care. You'll just get captured though. And all the other heroes that crushed your quirkless dream get scot-free. If that's really what you're satisfied with, by all means. The silver-haired teen backed away and started walking towards the portal. Do what you wish. Make a choice soon though. I only get about 2 to 4 hours rest from my battle. The teen disappeared inside the portal. Light stood there for a second, before following the teen through the portal. Suddenly he was in the mountain tops. The teen and another tall purple clouded figure. Ah, so he's chosen. The purple fancy dressed figure said. Go down the road a little. You'll see quite a mess of a house. Get yourself cleaned up, we shall discuss terms tomorrow. You're too injured to do anything now. Lighter squinted and limped away. Quote. Are you sure about him? He seems a bit idiotic. The cloud man asked. The silver-haired teen overlooked the mountains. I don't give a rat's ass about him. He actually took everything I said down there to heart. Granted, what I said was true, but saying it off the fly like that, no smart person would understand. Then why bring him aboard, Shigaraki? The purple man asked. The teen named Shigaraki frowned. His quirk is decent, but the way he uses it has potential. He'll make a good distraction for the heroes while I deal with Gigantomachia. Gigantic bastard isn't showing any signs of slowing down soon. Isn't that exciting? Shigaraki started to laugh. Make sure that idiot doesn't get caught. I'm sure you can handle guiding him while I fight Gigantomachia. Okay, Kurogiri. Will do. Things just got a bit more interesting. Where stories live. Discover now.